Hello there, my name's Claire and you're watching Stitchum. So thank you so much for joining me today for another episode of Friday Sews. Now Friday Sews was created by the brilliant Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room. It's just a great way of bringing the sewing community together on a Friday, talking all about what we might have been up to in terms of sewing. So that's what I've got for you today. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're new here, you are very, very welcome, and thank you so much if you have already been watching and subscribing to my videos. I do really, really appreciate it. And let's get on with what I've been up to this week. So it's been a couple of weeks or more since I last posted a Friday Sews, but I have done a couple of other videos in between. One was regarding my trip to the knitting and stitching show, and which was on I think the 7th of November, so I've done a whole video in relation to that. And the other one was my sort of October plans, which included everything that I was possibly going to be sewing up for this sewing challenge, hashtag long sleeves 23, which is being run by the lovely Shannon from the Sewing Warehouse. The idea behind that sewing challenge is just that you sew up something with long sleeves, you enter it on Instagram by posting under that hashtag long sleeves 23, tag in the Sewing Warehouse, and you'll be in a chance of winning a prize. It couldn't be more simple, really. And at this time of year, we're all starting to think of sort of cozier makes, aren't we? So the perfect challenge for this time of year. So yeah, what have I been up to? So yeah, I obviously went to the knitting and stitching show. I'm not going to talk about that in any great detail because I've already done a whole video on that, but I will tag it up in the cards above me and in the description below, and I'd love it if you check out that video if you haven't already done so. But needless to say, it was a brilliant day, and yeah, if you want to see more about that, check out that video. Now, one of the things that I took on the day that I didn't show you guys in the video was one of the things that I have been making. And the reason that I didn't talk about it in the last video is the fact that the pattern hadn't actually been launched. So the wonderful Adam from Adam Sews has launched a new pattern, which is the Lunar crossbody bag. Now, if you've watched my channel before, you'll know that Adam and I are friends, and he very kindly gifted me the pattern ahead of it being launched, and asked if I would have a go at sewing it up. Of course, I was delighted. I absolutely love Adam's patterns. I would say that even if we weren't friends, but I genuinely do. I think they're brilliant, and really kind of simple to put together. Adam's also done a video of how to construct it as well, so if you're like me and you are a visual learner, it's great because that just sort of holds your hand the whole way along. Anyway, here is the bag that I made, and it's a really great size because it's your perfect size to put a little bit of makeup in, perhaps your wallet, your car keys, your phone, that sort of thing, and it's not too big. So on the day I had this bag, you know, with all those sort of things in, and then I had sort of a rucksack or a bag with me for all the things that I wanted to buy during the day. So it's got two zips, one for the main opening and one at the front here, and I've just used these lovely kind of rainbow zips which I bought from a person on a D-stash, I think, on Facebook. I've also added these little fabric sort of pull tabs. That isn't included in the pattern, that was something I just added as an additional. And then on the back you create these little tabs to put your bag loop from. Now the pattern suggests using D-rings and then these clips here. If you didn't have these, you could fairly easily achieve the same thing. It just means that this bit wouldn't be detachable, and you could just have, if you had a D-ring that wasn't so curved, had two flat edges, you could just attach those directly to there and achieve the same thing. So that's something just to bear in mind if you don't have these or something similar. it is a quilted bag. You've got a front piece, a back piece, and then a piece for the pocket, and then you need obviously the 2 zips and some bias binding. I used this fabric, was some leftover fabric that I had in my stash from a shirt that I made, and this blue fabric was also in my stash as well. In fact, I had everything in that I needed, and the lovely Adam gave me some foam to create the sort of the sturdiness of it. The only other additional thing I did on the inside was I added an inside pocket. Now what I was careful to do was to make sure that it came under this section of the actual pocket, so it's just a slip pocket on the inside. I've actually ended up putting it quite low, and I could have gone higher up, because actually as long as it was below this line here you wouldn't see it, the stitching from the outside. So next time I make this bag, which I will, I will raise that inside pocket, because actually I quite like a little inside pocket for those things where they're kind of smaller and you don't want to lose them in your bag. But that's, as I say, that's the only thing I've done differently, is I've added these little ties because I just thought it would look nice, and I thought it would make it easier to open the bag, and that inside pocket. But yeah, it's a brilliant bag pattern, really simple, comes together really quickly. You can do whatever quilting design you want on it. I think Adam's ones that he shows on the pattern, I think he's just kind of done some squiggly lines, quilting lines. You could do straight down, you could do a cross. I've just gone with a cross hatch because that's what I wanted to do, and I think it looks really great. I like how this binding kind of pops out, but obviously you don't have to do that quite so in such a bright fabric. This fabric actually that I did the binding in is kind of a sewing themed fabric. It's got like little scissors and safety pins and stuff on. I think you might just be able to see one of the scissors there. Nobody's really going to know that, but I do. And yeah, just a lovely pattern at which I would highly recommend. Obviously I'll link all the details in the description below. So this last couple of weeks, went to the knitting and stitching on the Saturday. The following Thursday it was my birthday, so I'd already kind of spent some of my birthday money at the knitting and stitching show, but I did receive a little bit more, so I have spent some of that now on, you guessed it, some more fabric. So I'll show that to you a little bit later. I also received a few sort of sewing gifts for my birthday. I received a voucher for a fabric shop, which I've spent that money, and I'll show you, as I say, I'll show you that fabric in a minute, and a couple of other kind of crafty type items. I also received a card from my older son that says happy birthday, and then it's got balloons and that look like bobbins on, that he's designed himself, which is just so cute. Yeah, he loves sort of drawing and stuff, and he's really good at when he makes a card for people that he tries to think about what that person is into, so it's really sweet. I also had another picture from my son, this is from my younger son, he's 4, and not something related obviously. Oh my god, how cute is that? And my husband has laminated me it so that it stays lovely for hopefully forever. Just gorgeous. I'm a little disturbed by the fact that my head is so much bigger than everybody else's, but don't you just love the attention to detail? Look at the eyelashes, just so cute. I also received a sewing themed card from the lovely Adele, who is Sew for Serenity, and it says good friends are like buttons, and then there's a lovely message inside, which I just thought was lovely. My lovely sister was the one that bought me the voucher for the fabric shop. It was for Pound Fabrics, but she also crocheted me this little turtle, and she made one. It was a kit that actually I bought her for her birthday. She's super into crocheting, and it came where you could make 2 turtles with this kind of the different colourway. So her one is light blue with a darker shell, and mine was darker blue with a lighter shell, and so she decided that they're sisters. So I've named mine Anna, because that's my sister's name, and she's named hers Claire. So yeah, funny. And she also bought me these little fabric squares. Now, is this called a charm pack? The quilters amongst you might know. I've got no idea. I've also not really got any clue about what I'm going to do with them. I like them, they're beautiful, they're lovely colours, but I don't know what to do with them. So any kind of quilters that are out there, can you give me some ideas, please? I'd be really grateful. So I have been doing some sewing over the last couple of weeks, and all the makes are for my 2 sons. I've also got a couple of things cut out for myself too, so I'll go through those as well, and my sewing plans a bit later on. But the things that I've made are so those of you that have been watching my channel will know that my son had chosen some bear fabric because he wanted bear fabric, and he was quite explicit about what he wanted me to sew up. So I've sewn 4 items in this bear fabric. So I started off with this, which is the Raglan Explorer t-shirt in the long sleeves, hashtag long sleeve 23, in the bear fabric, and I've just used black ribbon for the neckband. He then said, "That's nice, mummy, but I need one with short sleeves." So I made a short sleeve version too. I have made the mini Hudson trousers. I've gone for, he's nearly 5, but I find the mini True Bias mini Hudson pants, I don't think they come up particularly big, so I have made him the age 6, and I've also added a little bit of length. Now they will be a little bit big for him in terms of the length, but they'll just bunch and then give him a little bit of extra time in terms of how long he'll be able to wear them for. So that's the plan with that. I don't have any pictures of him wearing them yet, but if I do get some pictures before I manage to edit this video, then I'll pop them in, but it might not happen, to be honest with you, by the time he gets home, etc. And then I've made some pants. Now again, this was using the Waves and Wild Speedy pants. Now they do 2 versions. They do more like your classic pants, and then they do like a boxer version, and my sons both prefer to wear boxers. And so yeah, I have got a little bit, so I've bought 2 meters of this fabric, and I think I've got a little bit left, not enough to make anything major. I might squeeze out another pair of these, but I wanted him to try them on before I went with this age 5. They look quite big, if I'm honest with you, when I compare them to his regular boxers, but maybe they're not a stretchy fabric. I don't know, we'll see. I think they'll be okay. Just a slightly different fit than a regular kind of shop bought boxer short would be. And then for my older son, because I didn't want him to feel left out, I have sewn up this rather cool dinosaur fabric. Now obviously he's getting older, he's nearly 9, he's 9 in November, and so I have sewn up again the Waves and Wild Raglan Explorer. Again, I've used some black ribbon for the neckband. I've got a label in here, which is a Specky Seamstress label that just says made to measure. I've put labels in all of those ones as well. I tend to put a label in the back just because then the boys know which one's back, you know, what's the back of the t-shirt or the trousers or whatever I've made for them. So he seems to be quite pleased with this one. He hasn't actually tried it on, but it's the same size as the last t-shirt I made for him, so hopefully all should be good with that one too. And then I had a little bit of fabric left over because I've just bought a metre of this one, and so I've made him some boxes. Now I was looking at the size chart for him. Now he, as I say, he's just coming up for 9, but he's really tall, and so I knew that I would have to be making kind of the age. I guesstimated that I would need the age 11, but then when I was looking at the sizing chart in terms of his waist measurement, I thought that he was more like the size age 12. So I've sewn them up, but they have come up really quite big on him, bless him. He has worn them several times, bless him. They are clean, I promise. I'm not showing you dirty pants. But he thinks they're really comfortable. But if I make him any more, which I think I probably will because he really finds them uber comfortable, but I might size down just one because they do look a bit baggy drawers. But he's he's not quite as critical or quite as into clothes and as finicky about clothes as his younger brother is, so he's been quite happy with them. So yeah, I'm happy with that too. So those are the things that I've been making. As I say, I've got some other plans and things that I've cut out to sew up next, but that's what I've been up to in terms of sewing. Now, I've also been buying, so not masses, but I had, as I say, some birthday money to spend and a voucher, and I've used a little bit of that money. I've kept a little bit of money back because I am meeting a lovely friend in London in November. So we'll be going to some fabric shops. So I didn't want to spend it all. I won't have huge amounts of money to spend then because I need to think about Christmas. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that trip. Anyway, what have I been buying? So I bought some fabric from a D-stash from the lovely Rachel from Stitch Up. She has got a D-stash Instagram page where she's been selling off a good amount of her fabric. If you've seen the lovely Rachel's YouTube channel, which I'm sure you have, she has been doing a massive clear out and de-stash of her enviable fabric collection, shall we say, and she put up this piece of French terry fabric, and I have picked this up for my older son. I think it's a metre here, and I just thought a sweatshirt for him would be nice. I think I will just about squeeze that out as long as I do the bottom band and like the cuffs and stuff in ribbing, which I would probably do anyway. But I must remember when I make him the jumper to either slightly lengthen the sleeves or slightly lengthen the cuff pieces, because he has got really long arms, I've realised, and all of his jumpers, as he starts to as he gets taller within the size that kind of is still fitting him, his arms are getting kind of his sleeves are getting shorter and shorter on his arms, and then it makes it look like he's kind of grown out of it before he does. So I'm going to adjust the pattern piece, I think, to accommodate for that, just as I would for myself. I've got quite long arms, so I always have to adjust for me too. So anyway, that is the piece of French terry fabric from the lovely Rachel's D-stash. So thank you, Rachel. And then I bought some fabric from Pound Fabrics. Now, when I was at the knitting and stitching show, I saw this gorgeous, I think, what is it described as? It is described as a dotted floral on mint digital modal touch jersey fabric. So I saw this at the knitting and stitching show in a couple of colourways. There was one with a kind of darker navy background, and then this one, which is obviously just gorgeous. But I was looking at this fabric, and the lovely Michelle from the Sewing Bunny sort of whispered in my ear, did you know you can get that on Pound Fabrics? Quite a lot cheaper. So I kept that in mind, and I didn't buy it at the show. because I knew I could get it cheaper elsewhere. And so I once I'd got my, so what am I trying to say? When I got home, I looked on Pound Fabrics. Indeed, it was there. I put it in my basket along with a couple of other things, thinking that I might just get a little bit more money for my birthday. As it was, I ended up getting a voucher for Pound Fabrics. So this is what I spent my money on, sis, and I just think it is gorgeous. I have got 3 meters of this. I'm thinking a dress. I'm thinking a wrap dress. Possibly, so I've made the Friday Pattern Company Westcliff dress before, which I really quite like, but I think I'd like a skirt on it that's got a bit more swish. So I may well, I want to compare the pattern pieces with the Lotta skirt pattern, which I've used a number of times on different, smushing it onto different patterns. But I've also got the Elia Mac Tresbel pattern, which you can do with different skirt lengths and kind of different fullnesses of skirt. You can put like a half circle and a full circle on that. So I'm potentially thinking that. And I think it would just make a really lovely dress and perfect, I think, as a Christmas day dress. I know it's not particularly Christmassy in terms of colours, but I think it's gorgeous, and why not? And a wrap dress would be, or a faux wrap dress in jersey fabric will be super comfortable for eating, which, let's face it, is what we do at Christmas. So that's what I have. That's my main piece of fabric I bought. I also picked up 3 lots of jersey ribbing, cuffing fabric, however you like to call it. A light grey for one of the items that I'm looking to make my son, which is a jumper, and it's got some grey in it. The other one is teal, because I can never have enough teal in my life. And there's a jumper that I'm looking to make for myself. If you see my October plans, it's a lovely fabric from by Graziella, and it's a blue background with teal apples on, which I think I'm going to use that for. And then I've got this one, a blue fabric, kind of a navy, a light navy kind of colour. I don't know what it's described as. I think they do describe it as light navy. And I bought that in particular for a particular fabric, but actually the downside of buying online, the match isn't perfect, so I might revisit that at some point, or I might not. I haven't quite decided. So those are the things that I have bought. Oh, another little thing that I got for my birthday, which I thought was really sweet, was this little basket, and inside it's got some sewing bits. Perfect, I think, to have like in your handbag, you know, when you kind of have like a clothes disaster. A couple of safety pins and a few little bits of thread and some needles and things. Oh, and a needle threader. I don't myself have major problems with threading needles, but you never know, getting older, eyesight going, that might become in handy. So that's what I've been buying, making, been very kindly given for my birthday, etc. Now, what am I got in terms of plans? So I've been harping on about this fabric for a little while. This is some fairly inexpensive viscose fabrics that I bought a little while ago. Again, I think it was from Pound Fabrics, to make the assembly line high cuff top. Now that is all cut out and ready to go. Now we are just moving into half term this week. I have got the week off work, I obviously will be doing some stuff with my boys, but my husband is also off as well. So I'm hoping there's going to be some times when he's playing with the boys, entertaining the boys, probably playing gaming stuff or whatever, where I might be able to sneak away and do some sewing. So I'm really hoping to get that one sewn up, and also the robin shirt, which is, I'm going to pop a picture in of the pattern because I haven't got it out with me at the moment, but it is a new pattern that has been designed by the lovely Oyen from Lush Cloth, and the company that she has designed the patterns under is What Lola Makes, and as I say, the shirt is called the Robin shirt. I'll pop a picture in here. And yeah, I have got, so it came as a paper pattern. She very kindly gifted me the pattern, and so I have traced it, people. I know, shock horror, I never trace, but obviously it's a new pattern company to me. It just all looked so beautiful that I didn't want to like cut into it and then do the wrong size and ruin it. So I've heeded advice from other people to trace. Actually, it really wasn't that bad. So I just need to cut that out now, the fabric out, and get cracking on that. So again, hoping that over the half term I'm going to get some time to do some sewing, and that will get done too. Now, other plans that I have got, if I get a chance, ambitious. So I've got a sweatshirt that I'd like to sew up in the by Graziella fabric. I have got potentially another sweatshirt for my older son. I'm not sure, if I'm honest with you, what the other plans are, but definitely I'd like to get this fabric sewn up and the shirt. That'd be really, really good. And then towards the end, next weekend I think it is, yeah, it must be next weekend, how exciting, I am going to a sewing social that is that's going to be run by the lovely Adam from Adam Sews. So that is like a whole day Saturday social. Really looking forward to that. A few people I know that are going along to it, so really looking forward to catching up with them, and hopefully a few new faces that I haven't met before. So yeah, really, really looking forward to that. It's so lovely getting together with sewing people. They're just the best, aren't they? Don't you think so? So I think I'm going to stop waffling. It might have been a bit waffly today. I apologise if this video is a bit long. If you stuck with me this long, thank you very much. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks very much, everybody, and I will speak to you really, really soon. Take care. Happy sewing. Bye.